Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We all have struggles and issues, but that's no reason to not let our inner hotness show. Welcome Leta Greene to the Chatter.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, thanks for coming.
You guys were already so fun before we even started. They missed out.
You're just happy because you get a mug.
You know, I am, because they gave me a free mug. I know, I'm so happy about that. It is kind of fun, because then I have something to remember you all by.
Yeah.
So.
Let's get going. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm like, I shouldn't probably just keep talking about the mug. They're like,
no,
what?
it's really nice. So, okay. So I noticed here, we're going to talk a little bit about your book, but before we do that, I like this title, How to Embrace Your Inner Hotness. Yes. So how did you get your inner hotness?
Well, the quick story is that my grandma used to tell me that I was ugly and that nobody would love me. And it's okay, because it all worked out great, because look how hot I am now. That's right. But we all have had people that have told us things that they shouldn't have told us.
Right.
And that were what I call poopy. So sorry for the strong language, but you know, we all had poopy things happen to us.
Absolutely.
So what are we going to do about it? So I am like probably most like your viewers. I am a mom, I'm a wife, you know, I'm just, you know, I drive a minivan, you know, I mean, you know, yeah.
And that's hot.
Yeah,
no
I mean,
mistake.
it's hot, especially when my other car's not working. So you know, I'm just like everyone else. I'm just this mom, and I had an experience where my husband was hit by a bus, then he had a massive heart attack, died in my arms, came back to life. Okay, miracles here.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was in a wheelchair, and then our youngest daughter passed away. And I always tell people, that's not the story. The story is that we were happy. But if I just lead with this story of, oh, look at all this tragic stuff that happened to you, you guys are all like, oh, she was so much funnier before we knew that. Right? That's not relatable.
Right.
But you know, I was an awkward teenager that didn't feel special and didn't feel good, and had people say poopy things. But through different skills and things that we can do in our lives to really embrace who we really are and the source of awesome that's talking to us, and listen to that, we become more than what we look like. We become hot.
Oh, could you say that again?
She said that. Wow.
Right?
Oh, that was fucking sexy, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a good thing we got water in these mugs.
Papa's in love. You just, she's on fire.
Yeah. Well, you know, what can you do? Yeah, so I'm just a lady who people kept asking me tips, and I'm like, well, I better write a book, because you can only sit down with so many people.
Absolutely.
And I have kids that think I'm their mom. And so I wrote a book, and I'm honored that it's a self-published, best-selling book, and that it's resonated with people. And I speak and travel around the world and do empowerment women things. And, you know, locally, that's even better, because I don't have to get on a plane. And I'm also the state leader for Synergence International. I've been with the company for 17 years. You probably heard of Lip Sense. So, you know, that doesn't kiss off and smudge. And so I'm kind of busy, and then I cook dinner, you know?
Really?
Just-
You do get time? You do get time to do that?
I don't have hobbies.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but how did you, I want to know, so how did you manage to do that after all these things happening? How did you find that?
God.
You know, that.
It was completely that God has been the making of me. You know, that coming from where I came from as a child and being told what I was told, I had to really start defining, as each of us do, what are we?
Yeah.
You know, are we our size? Are we, you know, I was a little bit bigger than my grandma anticipated. You know, I've been size 14 shoulders forever. And we all have these things about us that we could criticize and critique. But if we flip that on our head and be like, well, you know, I also got my dad's kind heart and his work ethic along with his chin.
Beautiful chin.
Which is super sexy, I know. People are kind of jealous. Sorry about that. You know? And I got the shoulders, and, you know, I got different things, but, you know, and, you know, my tummy.
Right.
You know, I chose that. Children, cheesecake, and chocolate. There was not, the W doesn't work, right? So,
The 3 C's,
the working
I love
out.
it.
Yeah,
I
so
love
these
it.
are all reflections of my choices and who I am and what has made me. And I never like, oh, I'm going to become a speaker. I mean, my goal was to have a scrapbooking group once a week. You know, that would be like awesome if I could just go scrapbook.
And
Right?
Right.
And it just kind of, and then God said, do this, and I was like, why should, I spent like a year just going, oh, the world doesn't need one more self-help book about being happy. But you know, evidently, and one more didn't hurt.
So were you always an optimistic person?
No.
Okay. When
No.
did that shift?
Yeah.
When I discovered that my hurts were heard.
Okay.
And that was, you know, that wasn't something that was always being heard in my childhood. But I had an experience that I actually have a TEDx that I tell, being 15 years old, moving to a new town, and standing up in front of the classroom as a typical 15-year-old. right? And I stand in front of the classroom and everybody laughs. And I'm like, well, it's because I'm an idiot and I'm dumb, and like we all do. We all have these, this is why people are judging me, this is why they're rejecting me, this is why it's not okay. And they're all laughing, and then I realized later that my last name was Mon, so my name was Leta Mon, as in lead them on. Yeah, and they were laughing at a label.
Yeah.
But how often have we labeled people, I'm this or I'm that? And so it made me kind of confront who I am and what I was about, which was a gift. Our adversities are a gift.
Right.
Because they make us really confront our belief system. And in my particular case, my belief system was that I was stupid and ugly and that nobody would ever really, really value me. And I think most people have those little beliefs in them that are really holding them back from what, not just like professional success, but just happy, just being happy and willing to receive the love of your husband or your children. But we hold it back because, well, it doesn't fit our belief system.
So your prayers became more fulfilled. I mean,
I
you
was
spent
broken
hours.
down.
Like a horse kind of thing, right?
It was either I am of no value or there is something more. And that night when I was upset about being named after a streetwalker, because that would be like a good porn star name, you know, lead them on, that God said to me, you need to practice a new way of thinking of yourself. And my dad's a truck driver. We're not like, oh, get your affirmations on. You know, you want to feel good about yourself, move more bricks than your brothers, right?
Right.
And it was foreign to me to have something so clear, but I heard it.
And that was at age 15 as well?
That
or
was
later?
at 15 years old.
Okay.
That was that same day that I discovered I
Okay.
would lead them on.
Okay.
And I started practicing this little phrase that everyone in this room loves me, everyone in this room loves me, everyone loves me. And 2 weeks later, I was a freshman spirit queen, still in my brother's hand-me-down clothes.
No way.
I mean, and you know, the
2
whole...
weeks.
2 weeks later in a new town, Blanding. I mean, because you can be a big fish in a little pond. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Blanding.
Yes.
You know, so exciting. And I just started replacing those thoughts.
Okay.
And so I have an exercise that I call vanity prayers. And so when I'm getting dressed in the morning, because typically when we're getting dressed, we're like, will they accept me? Will they think I look cute? When I got dressed this morning, I was like, I look cute on TV, right?
Right.
You know, but we think those things, and typically we're hoping they won't judge us or reject us, or if we're trendy enough, depending on our age.
Yeah.
You know, we're all 40, we don't care about that stuff as
Right,
much, right?
not at all.
Yeah, not at all. We're just like, whatever old thing that fits.
That's right.
You know? And
The chest.
yeah, we didn't say that. No, it's okay. You know? Oh, was that a plug for my book? So anyway, I know. I'm just so creative. It just came out. But that we have these things that we don't accept and we don't like, and when we're getting ready, we're reaffirming those things.
Right.
Instead, I get ready and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of getting a little beat going, and I'm calling myself hotness. You know, saying,
totally.
you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like, I am so gonna rock today. I mean, my kids think I am their best mother, which I am, which is convenient, you know. And I just build up me, and I don't say anything to me that I would not say to a child. Because grandma said poopy things to me, not because she didn't love me, but because that was a reflection of her own thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's so true what they internalize, you know, even with scales and trying to be so careful not to step on scales, or I really try not to do that in front of my own daughter, because they watch that. They watch and listen and internalize everything that we do.
Absolutely.
Even my boys, I've got boys, and they're like, one time one of my little boys goes, do you think I'm fat? I went, what? I said, boys don't say things like that. But it was interesting because I think I got out the scale for, I can't even remember what it was, to weigh my suitcase because I was going somewhere. They started getting on it, and I don't know if they've heard it at school, but they're like, do you think I'm fat? Look at my stomach. It was so weird for me to
Can we
hear
just
that
talk
from
about
a
how
boy.
great your accent is and how
do
much
you
I
like
love
that?
it?
Oh,
I
thank
do.
you.
I'm like, right? My daughter was sick recently, and we went to the doctor, and they weighed her, and the lady goes, oh, you're 104 pounds.
No way.
And I'm like, oh, no, you did not just say
No,
that
was
to
she
my
saying
daughter.
because that's so little?
Because
or
she's over 100 pounds. And I was like, isn't that funny that another woman is
Would-
body shaming without even thinking that wasn't her.
That is
and I said, and
crazy.
isn't that wonderful? Because women
Absolutely,
outside of
yeah.
Asia all weigh over 100 pounds. It's like the greatest thing. And it was like, you see the little light bulbs going on that lady's head of, did
Good for
I
you.
just say that to a kid?
Wow.
Because that wasn't who she was at all.
No.
You wouldn't have said, hey, do you think a 104-pound 11-year-old is a problem?
Right.
Wow.
Right?
And it's not even body. It's like, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. Or you just have to be so mindful of those things all the time.
Right.
Leta, what's one of your favorite chapters in here? Could you even pick one?
I'm kind of prejudiced. I wrote the whole book.
Yeah.
I think focusing on the vanity prayers is a great tip that the
Okay.
listeners can take with them right away. Is just be conscious of what you're saying to yourself.
Positive self-talk.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you're getting ready, this becomes a reflection of you being ready. Not getting ready for the world, getting ready here
Mentally.
and getting here to love and to serve and to give. And just being very conscious of that and taking that time when you're getting ready to get ready.
Okay. I want to ask too. I've only lived in Utah County, well, Salt Lake in Utah County, but people say Utah Valley is very special in the sense that women will get all decked out in their skinny jeans and high heels just to go to the grocery store. Do you find different? Is there a difference outside of Utah in?
Well,
in
I've
that?
lived in 9 states and I've
Okay.
traveled internationally.
Okay, so what do you
and,
see?
I think that we are told to keep a certain appearance about what we're supposed to be, you know, to be the modest, which modesty isn't about just how you dress. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't want to teach my daughter you have to dress a certain way to be appropriate or, you know, valued. But we are taught that our image is very important to a different level. You know, be happy, reflect the good, you know, that kind of thing that seems a little bit more intense here. But, you know, they're pretty high maintenance in France too. They got a big fashion show every year.
They do so good though, don't they?
And they have cool accents.
They really do.
Yeah, oh, see, I'm so jealous.
Oh, that is wonderful. So where can people purchase your book?
So
or
it's available
get
at
in touch with you
letagreen.com.
even?
Yeah, so
Yes.
Leta Greene.
What was it called?
Synogen Slip
Synogen,
Sense.
lip
Everyone's
sense.
heard of that. And I do
Yes.
individualized makeovers with.
Show them your hand. Show them your hand.
with-
Look,
oh.
she has all these beautiful samples
Yes,
on her
what
hand.
do you know?
Yes.
Yes, you're so sweet to me. And so I do individualized makeovers with the practice of what hotness is.
Okay.
So it's
nice.
not like, oh, you need this because you're wrong. It's
Right.
no, this look at yourself, see who you are, and you know, helping with little makeup tips to enhance them. But letagreen.com will access all that I am. So you just have to know how to spell my name. It's not Leta Mon, it's Leta Greene now.
That's
a good day
That's
then,
how we
huh?
can get in touch with you too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
letagreen.com.
Thank
thank
you
you for
so,
coming.
so much.
Thank you.
What
It
a
was
pleasure.
so much fun, and it went too fast, but I got a
Yes,
mug.
it did. Yes, it did. Travel the world, bungee jumping, what's on your bucket list? Don't go anywhere.